Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga.
Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas.
I'm in it, yo. Got my nigga Ramon with me.
But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Under commanding general. Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them, I see them, dap them and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapping together. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves, while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complex. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up for parole. Because of the COVID, it feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and the whole ass need to stop it. Ass shit. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. And you know my young, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass shit. Oh, I'm with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent. I got it. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't no token when we got the flow. I ain't no peace, just pay with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pass through the fire. Ain't she the prophets? That baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Death of a failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop it, ass she the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass she the give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who's anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put your faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on Congo.
Imagine Hunter don't like no soldiers. With the Spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers.
The same. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell, toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, Amy murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ice agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game. Put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí.
Comandante General Yohanan na ISUPK.
This is what Commander General Yohanan did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Thumb, Yahweh Shema Thumb, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Preaching officer, I'm a Wangaba. Tuesday Brotherhood class. You feel me? Right now, let's clap it up for Feast of, you feel me, Hanukkah. Clap it up for the brothers going to New York, you feel me? Clothing, you feel me? The immigrants that the so-called white man, you feel me, has done away with, you feel me? Real talk, doing the work of the Lord. But yeah, tonight, that's basically what we're going to talk about is the Feast of Dedication. We're going to go over some stuff, some key points that happened because this is just remembering, you feel me, what we had to go through throughout time and time again. Steady being oppressed, steady going into slavery because we don't want to fear God. We don't want to keep the commandments. And during the Feast of Dedication is a time we got back to temple, Solomon's temple, you feel me, that he built. You feel me? That King David said he couldn't build because his blood, he had too much blood on his hands. So he set it up for Solomon to be the one that built it. You feel me? And it was glorious, glorious temple that the Greeks polluted and destroyed. And we got it back. You feel me? Remember that throughout our generations. You feel me? So yeah, if I may, let's go to that first article. Let's go into the one about Martin Luther.
Why did Martin Luther remove inspired books from the Bible?
Right now, when you hear that name Martin Luther, I know it rings a bell. You feel me? If you know that's coming up in the next month, we're gonna probably talk about that, go into that a little deeper. Martin Luther King. This is where he got his name from. Now, mind you, that's not what his mother and father named him. Yeah, that's what he changed his name to. Like it, man. Yeah, we had a little late start, but we finna get right into it. This is what Martin Luther got his name from. This guy right here is a white guy. His name is Michael King. You can go look it up. His name is Michael King. That's his father's name. His father's name is Michael King Sr. He's Michael King Jr. You go ahead.
It was by the apostolic tradition that the church discerned which writings are to be included in the list of sacred books.
Right, and that's why a lot of people have done away with the Bible. A lot of people have done. I meet people, they believe in Christ, they believe God is real, but they don't believe the Bible because they feel like it's been tampered with so much that they lost hope for it. You feel me? Real talk. And that's one of the reasons right here, because of this guy right here, a white guy who the book did not belong to. The Bible is a black man's book. It don't belong to him anyway for him to pick and choose what's right and what's wrong. You go ahead.
Amid all the damage Martin Luther did in rending the body of Christ.
Right. Now, they say the damage he did. The people that wrote this article is not black people. These is other white people. And they say he caused damage. You feel me? You go ahead.
Perhaps his most deeply ingrained legacy is his shortened canon of scripture.
Right. Because he was taking scriptures out. You feel me? Of the Bible. He was taking scriptures out. He was taking chapters out. He took the Apocrypha out. You feel me? He took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. The Apocrypha was always with the Bible. The original 1611 King James Version of the Bible that was translated from Hebrew and Greek to English. He took those books out. You go ahead.
Many people seem to believe that Catholics added books to the Bible. They don't seem to realize that Luther removed 7 entire books and parts of 3 others from it for no other reason than that they didn't fit his idea of what God really wanted.
He didn't. This is who Martin Luther King named himself after. He felt like the Bible, the word of God, didn't fit his idea of what God should be. What that sound like? Idolatry. You hear me? Idolatry, self-worship. You basically want people to believe God is what you think God is, which is what's happening right now with the so-called white man in like you in a hate group, because you're actually doing what the Bible's saying, what God say, and not what they idea of what you should do. You go ahead.
So like you said, man, it's like a perfect name for Martin Luther King. Me.
A perfect name for Martin Luther King. That's a perfect name. He knew what he was doing when he named himself after this white guy.
Luther claimed.
Oh, and another thing, it say many people think Catholics added. You feel me? For people that believe in what's that book called? Everybody, Enoch. You feel me? Enoch is not an authorized book of the Bible. It's man-made. All you got to do is go look it up. It's going to tell you that it's man-made.
Luther claimed they celebrated Judaism, and because he wanted to justify his challenge in the authority of the Catholic Church, he threw them out.
He threw them out. He threw them books out because he felt like they were celebrating Judaism, which basically means it was only for the Jews. He threw this specific stuff out because it referenced that this Bible is only for the Jews. Now, at this time, regardless of who they think the Jews are, you feel me? Whether they think they black or they think they are the white Jewish man, that don't even matter at this point. Because at this point, Martin Luther doesn't like Judaism. You feel me? He doesn't like the fact that the Jewish people teach that they are God's chosen people and everybody else is underneath them.
The Protestant Bible consists of only 66 books. The 39 books in the Old Testament and the 27 books in the New Testament. The Catholic original canon settled upon the 4th century contains 73 books, including Tobias, Judith, Wisdom, Ecclesiasticus, Baruch, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, what the Protestants call Apocrypha.
And that's the whole point where we read this article. He threw the Apocrypha out of the Bible. He threw it out of the Bible because it celebrated Judaism. It celebrated the Jewish people. It celebrated the Jews. That's the whole point of why he threw the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Because then it takes away from God love everybody. You feel me? And that's what we about to read tonight. We about to read the Apocrypha. We about to read the Apocrypha, and we about to show you that the whole Bible was always about the Jews. And that's why he threw those books out. That's why he threw the Apocrypha out. Because it basically showed that this Bible ain't really for everybody. It goes against the Protestant church. You feel me? It goes against what they believe. And you know what they believe? They believe that if you a sinner, you feel me, you saved by, you could sin. It's no good deed. You feel me? You don't be saved by doing a good deed. You be saved by Christ. That's exactly what you can look it up. The Protestant church believe you're going to be saved because you believe Christ is your savior, not by good deed. That's exactly what it say. That's what they believe.
In fact, Luther's first German translation was missing 25 books. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Esther, Job, Ecclesiastes, Jonah, Tobias, Judah, Wisdom, Ecclesiasticus, Baruch, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, Matthew, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, James.
That's a lie, gang. What's that right? The Bible say the earth will help the woman. You know who the woman is? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the woman because we was married to the Most High. We had a covenant with the Most High that we broke. These people is trying to erase the remembrance of the Israelites. They trying to erase us off the face of the earth. He got rid of all the books of the Bible. And that's how you got that little pocket book. That little Bible that your granny got, the little pocket book they pull out, and they got Psalms and Proverbs in it. That's why. Because they trying to wipe out the remembrance, you feel me, of the Israelites. Real talk. So yeah, we could drop that. Go ahead and go to that next article.
The menorah, a symbol of light. On Sunday, December 22nd, the lighting of two menorahs, one on the Green and another at the Roth Center for Jewish Life, will signal the beginning of the 8 days of Hanukkah.
Right. And what you got to understand that it's not called Hanukkah. The white Jewish man bastardized our culture, and then now he called it Hanukkah, but it's really Hanukkah because he don't know Hebrew. He speak Yiddish, which is a mix of German, Russian, and Hebrew all together. Because that's where he really come from, Poland and Russia and all that shit.
The menorah on the green is sponsored by Chabad, one of the groups overseen by Tucker Center for Spiritual and Ethical Life. The menorah at the Roth Center, which also serves the Upper Valley Jewish community, is sponsored by Dartmouth Hillel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so basically, this article is basically saying how the Jewish man, this is his candlestick. His candlestick has 8 branches, 4 on each side and 1 in the middle, which make 9. So he got 9 all together, and that's because he basically added his own 2 to it because he want one for each day of Hanukkah, but they call it Hanukkah. So basically, like I said, they bastardize our culture because there's nowhere in the Bible where it say to have 9 candlesticks. Everywhere it go, it say 7, 7, 7. So this is just more proof that the so-called white Jewish man, he converted because he's changing the doctrine. He's changing what the Bible says about the menorah. And if you would change something so simple as the menorah, what else would you change? Maybe you would be sucking the baby penises on the 8th day when they get circumcised, when they don't say that. There's nowhere in the Bible where it says to do that, but that's what they do. Give me real talk. So yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to Nehemiah 1 and 2. Because we're going to talk about dedication, which is something that Nehemiah had, which was dedication. And this is the time when we was in slavery, one of the many times we was in slavery under the Persians at this time.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 1, verse 2. That Hanai, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem.
Right. So he talking about the ones that escaped the Persians and left. You hear me? And that's how you know this is talking about black people. What we had to do in slavery, escape. Went to the north. You feel me? Real talk.
Verse 3, and they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there, and the province are in great affliction and reproach.
Right, they in great affliction and great shame.
The wall of Jerusalem is also broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire.
Right. So basically, like, our homeland is basically just being destroyed. You feel me? What was once a beautiful place is now look like a ghetto. Just like what's happening in America. At one point in time, the black people neighborhood looked real good, and now it's broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire.
Verse 4, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven.
Right. He was sad. He was sad about hearing about his homeland and how it looked and how it is. You feel me? Even though they in slavery, never forget Jerusalem. You feel me? Never forget Jerusalem. I think King David said that. He said, if I forget Jerusalem, let my right hand forget. You feel me? Let my right hand forget. You know, your right hand is for war. Real talk.
Verse 5, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven.
But another thing I want to add is we forgot Jerusalem, which is what they planned. That was a so-called white man's plan to make us forget Jerusalem. Now we don't think nothing. We talking about free Palestine and free Israel. We over confused. We don't even know what we on both sides. We free Palestine and free Israel. You guys, people, I'm with Palestine. I'm with Israel. Like, we done forgot who the hell we were when we was never supposed to forget Jerusalem.
Verse 5, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God.
Great and terrible God. That's our God. We sitting there in poverty. But the God of heaven is the one that we belong to. Nehemiah sitting there he in utter poverty under the Persians, hearing about his homeland being destroyed, being a ghetto, and he crying out to the God of heaven. You feel me? Real talk, because that's our God. Like I was talking about earlier, you feel me? We was married to the Most High, and we broke the covenant, and that's why we in the situations we in. Real talk.
That keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments.
Right, and observe his commandments, because that's what we got to do for God to have mercy on us. We got to observe his commandments. We got to do what he say, regardless of what your family say, what your family think, whatever, what they say, you in a cult. So what? Hell yeah, and I love it. You feel me? That's better than being a goddamn Christian. Real talk. I don't know how they don't think Christians is in a cult. You feel me? You sin every day and just go to church and just say, please forgive me.
Verse 6, let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee, both I and my father's house have sinned. Right,
both I and my father's house have sinned. We've done this time and time again. That's how we end up in poverty every time. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we end up in the bottom of every society every time because us and our fathers have sinned against God. That's our punishment. That's our punishment. That's the same thing that happened with the Maccabees in Greece. You feel me? Sinned, and we ended up in utter poverty, utter distress. You go, it's the last one for that.
Count, verse 7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee.
Right, corruptly. You feel me? We've been corrupt. And this is talking about to the Most High. We've been corrupt to the Most High. That's why we going through everything we going through.
And have not kept the commandments.
Not kept the commandment. Ain't kept the law. We ain't kept the laws of God. We keep the laws of the white man. We follow everything he say do to the T. But we ain't kept the Lord's law.
Nor the statutes.
Nor our customs. We done forgot our customs. Right now, women arguing still right now about a man can have more than one woman. Since you was 13 years old, every nigga you dealt with had more than one woman. And you still want to argue. That's not our customs. Then we haven't kept our customs. We're talking about the statutes. Go ahead.
Nor the judgments.
Nor the judgments. You feel me? The people was not getting judged for the crimes they was committing.
Which thou commandest thy servant Moses.
Right, the laws of Moses. Moses commanded us to keep these laws and commandments and act the judgments for the people that don't. But now you can't act the judgment because everybody's sinning. Everybody a criminal. Everybody is corrupt. So how can you damn act any judgment? But yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to Nehemiah 2:2.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 2, verse 2. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is that countenance sad?
Right. So it was just breaking down why. But now the king of Persia at the time is asking him this.
Seeing that thou art not sick, this is nothing else but sorrow of the heart.
You're sad. You're just sad right now.
Then I was very sore afraid.
We're going all the way to 6.
Count. Verse 3. And said unto the king, let the king live forever.
So now he buttering him up. Nehemiah buttering the king up. Because right now you got to understand, Persian ruled 127 provinces. You feel me? I think 10 provinces is Canada. So you do the math. Persian, they was ruling down at the whole known world at the time, basically.
Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lie waste?
He talking about Jerusalem, some of this homeland. He say, man, our city is poured down and destroyed. Why should I not be sad?
With the gates thereof are consumed with fire. Verse 4. Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make request?
Right. So he asking Nehemiah, what request do you make? You feel me? He trying to basically like help him fix his problem or see what he can do to help fix his problem. Because that's what happens time and time again when we in these different kingdoms. They go to the men that got respect. And right now, the men that got respect is people that actually want to take more from us. You feel me? Like the rappers, the politicians, the Christian pastors, they want to feed themselves. And that's who they going to make requests. Real talk. You see what happened with Commander Hunter did without no requests, without no help from the government. You feel me? Fed and clothed thousands of people in one day. Because that's what's supposed to happen. They supposed to be going to Commander General Hunter. You feel me? But instead, they going to the pastors. They going to the rappers. You feel me? Go ahead.
So I prayed to the God of heaven. Verse 5, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchre, that I may build.
So right, he want to go help his people. You feel me? Just like us in ISUPK, we want to help our people, even in poverty. You feel me? In poverty, poor in America, all we thinking about every day is how we can help our people. What can we do to help our people? And that's what Nehemiah was doing. But the leaders nowadays, they ain't doing that. They're trying to figure out how to help themselves. Go with it.
Verse 6, and the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, so how long shall the journey be, and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time.
So he said this ain't gonna be forever though. But you go ahead, go do what you gotta do, and you bring your ass back. Because we've been in slavery time and time again. That's what I'm saying. We've been in slavery time. That's what y'all gonna understand, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. We've been in slavery more than we've been free. That's more proof that this Bible is talking about us. That's why Martin Luther had to take the Apocrypha out. He said, this got to go. Because if you read this, people going to start to think that this is a racist book. You hear me? This book is racist. This book is only for one people, and Martin Luther couldn't have that. Martin Luther couldn't have that at all. Salaka, let's go to 13 and 17. Go ahead.
So like I said, if I may drop it so heavy, it's no coincidence that Martin Luther lived in the Renaissance era too.
Damn. Yes, no sign Christ. That was the Renaissance, but he was one of them. You feel me? And what you got to do, what you got to understand about the Renaissance period is the rebirth. It was for them to whitewash everything because the white people was now coming back. They would now, when I say coming back, because a lot of people don't understand about the bottomless pit. That was not a literal pit. They were just in a state that they couldn't get out of. Just like right now, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we in a state that we can't get out of. And this is how white people were. They were just at the bottom where they just could not rise to the top. They just couldn't rise. And during the Renaissance period, it was when they was getting to that point. You feel me? They was getting to that point where they could now rise to the top of governments and stuff like that.
Oh, so like it's chapter
number? Nehemiah 13 and 17. Then we're going to get into the Maccabees after that.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 17. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day?
Right. So he back there and he's saying that they is profaning the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is supposed to be holy. It's supposed to be rest. Well, you doing what you're supposed to do. All business is supposed to be closed. You feel me? All business is supposed to be shut down. But that ain't what was going on when he got there. You feel me? That is not what was happening. You go ahead.
Verse 18. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city?
Right. So think about it like this. Any evil that you're going through, the Lord brought it upon you. The Lord did it. You sitting there talking about Satan and oh no, Satan won't do it today. Nope, not today, Satan. It was God that did it. It's like it. Hey, what's that crap? But Right, get behind me, say all that goofy shit. Man, look, all I'm telling you, it was the Lord that did that shit. Satan don't move an inch without the Lord saying so. You go, it went all the way to 21.
Okay. Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath.
Right, you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. Real tough.
Verse 19, and it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut.
Right. So what he basically saying is sundown, because when sundown, that's when the Sabbath started, sundown. So he's saying the gates need to be shut. Ain't no more business happening. Ain't no more buying and selling. It's over with, because you gotta understand this was during a time where we was like not ruling. You feel me? So we under these people, we under all these different nations. They coming to take money from us. The same way they doing right now, the same way it ain't no black businesses, but we spent $1.3 trillion a year. This was happening back then. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And that's why he say close these gates, because these different heathen nations is coming, making money when all business is supposed to be closed. You feel me? Real talk, you go ahead.
And some of my servants said at the gates that there should be no burden be brought in on the Sabbath.
Right, no burden, ain't nothing supposed to be happening on the Sabbath day, man. You supposed to be doing what you want to do, man. You feel me? Real talk.
Verse 20. So the merchants and sellers of all kinds were lodged without Jerusalem.
Right, so you had all type of different kinds of merchants and sellers basically waiting to get the black dollar. You feel me? The same way you got the Arabs, you got the Africans, you got the Chinese, got all these businesses in our neighborhood. They lodging, they waiting. You feel me? To get the black dollar. You feel me? You go ahead.
Without Jerusalem once or twice. Verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall?
Right. So he telling them, like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all know it's the Sabbath day. It's the Sabbath day. Y'all not even supposed to be here. You feel me? Real talk. Everything is supposed to be shut down. Everybody's supposed to be chilling with their family or they women or whatever, doing what they want to do.
If you do so again, I will lay hands on you.
That's a lie. Hey, clap it up for masculinity. Clap it up for Nehemiah. Nehemiah say, look, if you come back around here, I'm putting these hands on you. He said, I'm laying hands on you. You're going to get a left-right hook. You feel me? Because Nehemiah was sick and he was tired of seeing our people time and time again going through this, man. Time and time again. You go ahead.
Slack it, sir. If I may, that ain't what the Christian church mean when they say laying hands on you.
No, that ain't what they meant. They talking about praying, bro. You put the hand on your head, all that. Man, Nehemiah is talking about punching you in the mouth. You feel me? We ain't on TikTok. Nehemiah was talking about punching you dead in the mouth for profaning the Sabbath day, which is a sin.
Verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why you lodge about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth, they came no more on the Sabbath.
Nobody came back. Nobody came back trying to buy, sell, nothing on the Sabbath day. Notice it say Sabbath, on the Sabbath, no more. Because that's what this was about. This was about them profaning the Sabbath. Just like right now, all your slaveries that you work for that tell you got to come in on Saturday, they profaning the Sabbath. But the sin is on them. And the Lord going to lay hands on them. Ooh-wee. Real talk. Just a matter of time. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to second Maccabees. Hold on, let's go to second Maccabees 6:1.
The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 1.
Right, now this the Apocrypha. This is what they took out. This was Martin Luther took out the Bible because he felt like this is promoting Judaism, promoting the Jewish people and not the whole earth. Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, Slash, I just have a question. So Martin Luther is responsible for taking these books out of the Bible.
The Protestant church. Yeah, he started it. Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
How did King James know to put them back?
I don't know.
King James came later.
I don't know.
But he knew to put them back in.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, because like what you're saying, because he had it translated and it was in there. You feel me? He had it translated and it was already in there. So shit, he like, man, look, it's good to go.
So he was using older books
Mm-hmm.
than what Martin Luther was.
Yep.
Okay.
He got Hebrew and Greek scholars, and he say, look, translate this shit for me, because these people is using to manipulate like Martin Luther. So that's manipulation.
He was going back before Martin Luther to get the books to translate from.
Yep. All these was in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yep. The Apocrypha, all that was in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You feel me? Real talk. That's crazy.
Not long after, it's like 2 Maccabees 6:1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Right. So that's what they was trying to do. And see what I'm saying? That's why he wanted this out. The Jews to depart from the laws. What if the slaves read this? Think about the slaves read that it was a time period where another nation wanted you to depart from the laws of your fathers. They might want to identify with these people.
So like it identify the slave owners with the people of Athens.
Yep, with the people of Athens. What they are. Mm-hmm. That's the people of Greece. Them the Greeks. The people of Athens is the Greeks.
Depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God.
Mm-hmm. So now they're trying to basically force us, you feel me, to follow them, which happened time and time again when we sin against God. You good? We're going all the way to verse 9.
Verse 2. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
Right, and to pollute the temple. Now, Nehemiah just went back to Jerusalem to try to rebuild. You feel me? And now we got it happening again where they trying to pollute the temple again. You feel me? Because they don't want us serving our God. If we serve our God, all these nations is going to be under us. You go ahead.
And to call it the temple of Jupiter.
Right. And that's some Greek mythology. You feel me? That's some Greek mythology right there. They want us to turn our temple, you feel me, into that name. That this is Jupiter. Like basically we worshiping Olympus and Jupiter instead of worshiping the Most High.
And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
Mm-hmm. That's basically trying to get us to convert them to their religion. Serve their gods. That's what they wanted us to do. They want us worshiping Zeus.
Verse 3. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. Verse 4. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles.
Yep, riot. So they in that motherfucker kicking it. They in the temple kicking it. You feel me? That's what they was in there doing. The heathens. You feel me? They in there kicking it.
Who dally with harlots.
Right. And then reveling, that's intense pleasure. They in there rioting and having intense pleasure. And if you know anything about the Greeks, they were natural homosexuals. You feel me? That's what they did. They was homosexuals like it was nothing. They had the women dressing up like men just so they can damn have babies. Just so they can get the woman pregnant. They got them dressing up like men. Like real talk. So they in our temple doing all type of damn lustful shit. Feel me? Sadistic. Feel me? All type of shit. Feel me? Real talk.
And had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. Right.
And they said they dally with harlots. So they end up having sex with hoes. They end up kicking it with hoes in the temple that Solomon built. This is the temple that Solomon built. This is what's happening in there.
And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
And now they got stuff in there that ain't lawful, like pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Who doing that right now? Your damn Christians doing that. You feel me? Now we know the church, that ain't the temple of God. But I'm just saying, this is what happened when you start following the heathens. Now you thinking you were in a place of God, and now you bringing in unlawful stuff in there. And another thing happened in the church, they end up dallying with harlots. So lock it. They end up dallying with harlots more than a little bit.
Verse 5. The altar was filled with profane things that the law forbid. Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Now it ain't even lawful to keep the Sabbath. Nehemiah was fighting for people to keep the Sabbath. Now the Greeks made it unlawful. You hear me? It was basically like you getting punished if they find out you keeping the Sabbath, because they're going to lose money. On the Sabbath days, no buying, no selling. All businesses is closed.
Or ancient fast.
Day of Atonement is over. Ain't no more ancient fast. Ain't no more fasting. You fast, we losing money because you ain't buying no food. You hear me? That's why in America right now, they ain't telling you to fast. Fasting ain't a part of American religion because they want you to stuff yourselves. They want you to be greedy. You go ahead.
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Or to profess himself all to be a Jew. It was illegal. You feel me? And this is why Martin Luther wanted this out. It was illegal to say you was a Jew. You had to say you was what? African American. You had to say you was Negro. What's happening right now? You say you're Israelite, they tell you part of a hate group. They telling you crazy. That's what are you talking about? You an Israelite? No, you not. You're black. What they say? Jesus is white. It's a lie. They say Jesus is white. You feel me? It's illegal to say you a Jew, man. You feel me? It's illegal. They call you anti-Semitic. If you just say you a Jew. If a black person say you a Jew, they call you anti-Semitic.
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint.
Constraint, right? That's like when you like tightened up. You feel me? On the birthday of the king, you was brought to bitter constraint. You know why? Because that's their culture. You feel me? That's their culture to celebrate birthdays. The Greeks and the Romans, that's their culture. You feel me? You become a god for a day. That's not our culture. And that's why you was brought to bitter constraint to celebrate the king's birthday. Because we didn't do that. That wasn't our culture. That's why it's a problem. That's why you was brought to bitter constraint. But that's why you weren't doing it willfully. Because it wasn't our culture to celebrate birthdays.
To eat the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying an ivy. Verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Right. So now they want everybody to do this. They want everybody under one accord, just like America doing it with Christianity. They want everybody under one accord. They using Christianity to push their agendas because they want everybody under one accord. You go ahead.
Verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles shall be put to death.
Should be what?
Shall be put to death.
Lose your job.
Shall be put to death.
Lose your kids in child support court.
Shall be put to death.
You're going to be put to death. Just like right now in America, if you confess to be a Jew, they're going to try to put you to death spiritually. You feel me? They're going to try to put you to death. Your family is going to condemn you. The courtroom is going to condemn you. Everybody's going to condemn you when you confess yourself to be a Jew. But all I will say, if you stand strong, the Lord going to be on your side. And we'll get into that later.
Then mighty men have seen the present misery.
Right. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to First Maccabees 2:17.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 17. Then answered the king's officers and said unto Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in the city.
Right. So now they going to Mattathias. Mattathias was from the tribe of Judah, so-called today African American. You feel me? He was an Israelite. And he was a ruler and an honorable man. And they went to him the same way they do right now. They go to the pastors. They go to the politicians. They go to the rappers, the actors. I don't know. Come on, man. If you don't know that this is talking about black people, you're an idiot. You're a goddamn idiot, man. This is why Martin Luther wanted this out of the Bible. Martin Luther did not want this in the Bible. Real talk. Then you got some fucking, matter of fact, we're going to get into that later. Some goddamn coon that changed his name to Martin Luther King. You go ahead.
And great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
Right. So he gang. You hear me? He got sons, he got brethren, and he got respect. This was not just anybody.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment.
Right. So they want basically Mattathias to do what they want. You feel me? Because they know if Mattathias do it, everybody else gonna follow. Like who? Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King do it, everybody gonna follow. You feel me? We get Malcolm X to break, everybody gonna follow. You feel me? What the fuck Malcolm X say? He say, man, I was wrong about all the stuff I was saying and all the stuff I said. He was talking about Martin Luther King and all the damn Christians and shit. I say, damn, they broke that nigga. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. They broke Kyrie Irving. That's what's gonna happen. These leaders you were trying to follow, they're gonna break. They're gonna break, they're gonna fold. You know who's not gonna fold? Commander Gianna. He's not gonna fold. It's not gonna happen. He stood the test of time. He's not gonna fold. These leaders you following, these rappers and entertainers, basketball players, they're gonna fold.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathens.
Like all the heathens done, like the Arabs. You got the Arab women over here stripping. Matter of fact, if you ain't know it or not, it's a lot of Arabs that's CIA. How you think they got into all them Iraqi countries and East Indian, not East Indian, Middle Eastern countries and stuff to infiltrate? A lot of they CIA agents is Arabs. Real talk. That's how they got in all them different countries and took them over and stuff like that. Real talk.
And the men of Judah also, and such as remain in Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold.
Right, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, all these politicians, Jay-Z. Your children are going to be honored with silver and gold if you come and do what we tell you to do. You come and do like all the heathens done.
And many rewards.
And many rewards. That's all it's about. Money. Money, money, money. Real talk.
Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him.
Everybody obey. Y'all ruling the known world right now. The Greeks was ruling. This was their time to rule. Go ahead.
And fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers.
And when you see that word religion, it's just talking about culture. Now, because of all the stuff that's going on, religion means Episcopalian, Protestant, Catholic, all that. But religion always just meant your culture. Real talk. So everyone fall away from their culture of their fathers.
And give consent to his commandments.
Right, and that's what they want to do. That's what America want to do. America is the sons of the Greeks and Romans. They want to basically make everybody forget the culture of their fathers and give consent unto the king, which is the king right now is Joe Biden. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, when it says the king, it's still talking about Ptolemy, right?
Still talking about the Greeks. Yep. Ptolemy, yep.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Right. Well, we'll walk in the covenant of our fathers. Was basically saying we keeping the commandments. Us in ISUPK, we keeping the commandments. You go ahead.
Verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
Right. God forbid, which means that's not happening. We're not gonna turn away from our God to follow you. You got us fucked up. You got us overbent. Who is this? Yeah, hold on, wait, so like, I don't know who this is. Satan just stepped into the chat. His name is Yahushua is a child molester. Do you eat fried chicken and collard greens on feast days? So like it.
Hopefully.
I hope you do. I hope you ain't eating pork and shrimp on the feast days. Yeah, but that you're gonna have to be judged for that name. That name on your YouTube channel, you will be judged for that, and it's gonna be on you. Whoever you are, that's all I'm gonna say. You go with it.
Come. Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's word.
Right. We're not hearkening to the king. We're not listening to America and what they say. We're not sinners. We're not breaking America's laws. but we're not going to eat pork. We're not going to celebrate Christmas. We're not going to celebrate Halloween. We're not doing the customs of your fathers. We're doing the customs of ours. Go ahead.
To go from our religion,
our culture,
either on the right hand or
on the left. We're not going on the right or the left of our culture. You feel me? Which means we're not taking away or we're not adding to. We stand right in the middle of what we know and what we was taught by the laws of Moses. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin.
Now after Mattathias gave this such elegant speech and uplifted the people and disregarded the Greek Empire to their face, here come a Jew walk up and said, "No, hell no, nigga." Nigga, he said he gonna give us money and power and all this, nigga. I'm coming. Here I come. Who was that today? Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. This is what it's talking about. It's a Jew after all that walked up and to sacrifice. Go ahead.
According to the king's command.
Sacrifice and do all the stuff the king wanted Mattathias to do. A Jew walked up and wanted to do it. Like, no, I'll do it if he don't want to. Shit, he got it. He tripping.
Verse 24. Which thing then Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled.
Yeah, right. So when Mattathias seen the traitor, he seen Martin Luther King walking up to basically sacrifice. He's sitting on a horse. And that's what the reins is. He was so mad, they start shaking. You know what you hold to turn the horse? Little ropes called reins. It started shaking because he was so mad. He was so mad that this man walked up and did that. Real talk. Just like we were so mad to see the damn purple leaders king make fun of Christ on a video and some fucking podcast with some damn reporter. You feel me? We was inflamed with zeal. Go ahead.
Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
He couldn't even hide it. He couldn't hide it.
Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
He killed him. The Uncle Tom that walked up and decided to do what the Greeks said to do, he went and he killed him. Mattathias was a gangster. He was an old school gangster. He killed him. He murdered him right then and there. That's why Martin Luther wanted this out. Martin Luther needed this out. He could not have this. No, not the Renaissance. During the Renaissance? No, he couldn't have this in there. They trying to take over the planet. He couldn't hide this in there.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time.
Killed him too. The guy that told Mattathias and all them to come sacrifice and all that, he killed him too.
And the altar he pulled down.
And then he pulled down the altar because it was serving the Greeks, Zeus and Hercules and all that shit. I can't even believe people thought that was real. Since I was a kid, I thought that was a goddamn cartoon. You telling me once upon a time people believed in Zeus and Hercules? Man, get the hell out of here, man.
Hey, so like I say, you know they say in the conscious community that Jesus is Zeus. Probably where this shit come from.
Come on, man. They say he a demigod.
Hey, look.
Damn.
I like to, when I hear Zeus, I like to think about is what's that movie with Eddie Murphy in it? Nutty Professor. Hercules.
Man, gone, man. Get the fuck out of man. Look, so like, hey, look, we got some more to go though. I ain't gonna lie. If you go ahead.
Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas did unto Zabri the son of Samuel.
So yeah, so Mattathias did what he had to do. You feel me? Like another brother did before.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law,
whoever is zealous of the law, whoever loves the law,
and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him follow me. Because what you got to understand is always going to be a man that you can see face to face that the Lord is dealing with that you're going to have to follow. That's like right now it's Commander Jayhana, but it's always been like that. A man that on earth that you got to follow, that the Lord is with. That's how it's always going to be. He's God is not coming out the sky to talk to you. You feel me? Christ does not want to be your boyfriend, women. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a man standing with 2 feet on the ground who the Lord is dealing with, who you're going to have to follow. And that's why Matthew said, man, whoever's zealous of the, come follow me. Whoever's zealous of the law, come follow me, man. We ain't got no time to play. You go ahead.
Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
For all they had in the city.
Verse 29. Then many that sought after the justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell.
Right. And then many people that felt like, yeah, you know what? They right. They went down there too.
Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased so upon them.
Yeah, man, they couldn't deal with it no more. It was just too much going on. The Greeks was heinous, and they was homosexuals too. You feel me? There was just too much going on, man. They was just too lustful. They had to get up out of there. I can imagine what they was doing to all them women, man. I could just imagine. You feel me? They was evil and sadistic. They had to get the hell up out of there. They went into the wilderness. It's the only reason why any person would leave and live in the fucking woods, which is basically what they really did. They went into the mountains and then start having guerrilla warfare. I don't know if you know what that is. Guerrilla warfare. You feel me? You coming out of hiding and making strategic attacks and running back into the mountains and stuff like that, or hiding and stuff like that. So yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to First Maccabees 2 and 37.
Book of First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 37. But said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that you put us to death wrongfully.
Right, that you put us to death wrongfully. Heaven and earth will testify that you put us to death wrongfully. Martin Luther had to get this up out of there. He had to. He had to, because heaven and earth will testify that the so-called white man right now in America has put us to death wrongfully, man. Well, y'all forgot about Breonna Taylor? I mean, I'm saying they just came out and said the warrant that they had was illegal. It was illegal. It wasn't even a real warrant. It wasn't even a real warrant, man. Real talk.
Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath.
They did what?
They rose up in battle against them.
Nah, for the fake Israelites, I thought you ain't supposed to do nothing on the Sabbath. I thought you're supposed to be just sitting in the dark. I'm just saying, that's what the fake Israelites say on the Sabbath. You're supposed to be sitting in the dark. You feel me? In the woods somewhere with nothing. Starving the kids and everything. That ain't what they said they did. They said they battled on the Sabbath.
And they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people.
Yep. That's what happened to the fake Israelites. They died. And that's what's going to happen to all fake Israelites. You're going to die. If you want to be enslaved to the Sabbath day, you're going to die. You feel me? It could be spiritual, it could be physical. You go ahead.
Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore.
Right, they mourned for them. They heard about what happened to a group of Israelites, that the Greeks came up against on the Sabbath, and they mourned for them. They like, man, damn, man, they were just trying to, not profane the Sabbath and chill out and rest. The Greeks weren't trying to hit at. Real talk, you go ahead.
Verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
They will kill us if we don't fight on the Sabbath. You hear me? They will kill us on the Sabbath. You have to fight. You hear me? You have to fight. That's what Mattathias is saying. They will kill us if on the Sabbath day we just chill. We just like, yeah, we just gonna chill out, relax. We ain't gonna worry about life. We ain't gonna worry about cooking. We ain't gonna worry, man. Look, man, we gonna die. They will root us out of there. They will use that against us. You hear me? They will use the Sabbath against us if we don't fight on the Sabbath. You go ahead.
Verse 41, at that time, therefore they decreed, saying, whoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against them.
We'll fight. Anybody come up against us, we fight. We battling. We doing whatever we got to do. You hear me? Whatever we got to do, we doing it on the Sabbath day.
Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the sacred places.
Brothers got murdered on the Sabbath. You hear me? Because they didn't understand the Sabbath. They didn't know the Sabbath was about doing what you want to do. Businesses being closed. Not fighting for your life. Come on, man. Fighting for your life. That's all everything is about every day. Every day life is about fighting for your life, whether it's spiritual or physical. You hear me? Real talk. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to First Maccabees 6:40.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 40. So part of the king's army began spreading upon the high mountains and part of the valleys below. They marched on safely and in order. Verse 41. Wherefore all that heard the noise of their multitude and the marching of the company and the rattling of the harness were moved. For the army was very great and mighty.
Very great and mighty. And now this is talking about the Greeks. The Greeks is moving upon us. You hear me? They trying to kill us because we didn't want to, listen to the king, do what the king wanted us to do.
Verse 42. Then Judas and his hosts drew near.
Right now, Judas Maccabee, that's Mattathias' son. You hear me? He was the leader after Mattathias.
And incidents of battle, and there was slain of the king's army 600 men. 600 men.
You hear me? They killed 600 of the king's men. Now, mind you, we small compared to the Greeks. And they, because of guerrilla warfare, they strategic. What it say about Jacob, he'd be a plain man dwelling in tents, which means he would be strategic. You feel me? He'd be an expert in strategic planning. And that's what they were. That's why they was able to fight off the Greeks from the fucking woods. You go ahead.
Verse 43. Eleazar also surnamed Sabaron, perceiving that one of the beasts armed with royal harness.
Right. So Eleazar, he seen one of the beasts. Like, so he like, oh, this got to be like a prominent person because of the way the beast was dressed. It had to be like a king or a prince or something on it.
Was higher than all the rest, and supposing that the king was upon him. Verse 44. Put himself in jeopardy.
He did what?
Put himself in jeopardy.
What they do in New York?
Put themselves in jeopardy.
What the Kansas City 4 do?
Put himself in
what
jeopardy.
The Kentucky 8 do?
Put himself in jeopardy.
What they do with the mission to Acuna?
Put himself in jeopardy. We
put ourselves in jeopardy. We do that all day. We live the Bible in ISUPK. I don't know about you fake Israelite groups. I don't even think you guys is even real. I don't even think y'all real. We just found out a new Israelite group. They wear the damn Thanos shirts. We talked about them on the podcast. Somebody said they GML. I don't know. Them motherfuckers had on Thanos robes like the Avengers. But we put ourselves in jeopardy. That's what we do for our people, for our nation. And that's what this brother Eleazar did. He put himself in jeopardy because he's saying that, this might be a royal king or prince. Go ahead.
To the end might deliver his people.
That he might deliver his people. If he killed this person that's on this royal animal, this royal beast, because the way it was clothed, if I kill this person, I might be able to deliver my people.
And get him a perpetual name.
And get him you know what that means? Remembered. You feel me? Remembered throughout generations, a name remembered, which is what we doing right now, talking about him because of what he did. Right now, to this day, we talking about Eleazar for what he did because he wanted to get a perpetual name to deliver his people. You go ahead.
Verse 45. Wherefore he ran upon him courageously
Mm-hmm.
throughout the midst of the battle.
Right, in the midst of the battle, when you're supposed to be like watching and looking for the arrows and swords, Eleazar wasn't having that. He running through the battle, trying to take out this prince or king that might be on this animal.
Slaying on the right hand and on the
Right,
left.
so they killing on the left and the right. He running through the middle. He don't even care.
So that they were divided from him on both sides. Verse 46, which done, he crept under the elephant.
So it was an elephant.
And thrust him under and slew him.
And he slew him. He slew him right underneath the elephant.
Whereupon the elephant fell down upon him, and there he died.
And he lost his life for his people. You feel me? So his people could be delivered, and so he can get a perpetual name. So he can be famous throughout generations. And he was remembered. So what we talking about him right now in 2023. You feel me? He sacrificed his life for his people. And that's what we do every day. That's what they just did right now in New York last weekend. So yeah, let's drop that and let's go to second. Let's go to Second Maccabees 7:2.
Come. Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 2. But one of them that spake first said thus.
Hold on, wait. And now what we about to read is about the 7 sons. Okay. It was a woman that had 7 sons, and they all was murdered. They all was killed because they basically was zealous of the law. They would rather die than conform to the Greeks. You go ahead.
Come. And said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the law of our father.
That was the first son said. The first son said, we ready to die than sin against our fathers. That's the first son. Go ahead. We're going to let's go to 7 and 9.
All the way to 9?
No, just 9. Go skip to 9.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life.
Mm-hmm.
But the king of the world shall raise us up.
The who?
The king of the world shall raise us up.
You know who he talking about? He's talking about Christ. Christ is the king of the world. It's not talking about the Most High. It said the king of the world. You feel me? Shall raise us up. Christ was always spoke about. All the way back when Christ said Moses spoke about him. So you think the Maccabees didn't know that Christ was coming one day to raise us up? You feel me? You think that they didn't know that? They knew too. And this is what they talking about. Yeah, you take us out of this present life, but the king of the world gonna raise us up for this. The king of the world is gonna raise us up. Go ahead.
Who have died for his laws unto everlasting.
And that's how you know that they ain't talking about you feel me, the Most High. It's talking about Christ, because Christ died for his laws. You feel me? Unto everlasting life. And that's what the second son said. He prophesied before he died. So yeah, let's go to drop that and go to 7 and 10. 10 to 12.
Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock. And when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon holding forth his hands manfully.
Mm-hmm. So they holding his hands. He pulled forth out his tongue.
Verse 11, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despise them,
Mm-hmm.
and from him I hope to receive them again.
Right. He said, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despise them. So basically he's saying, like, man, we sinned. We deserve this. These sons was gangsters, man. They were some real little niggas. That's what we'll call them today. They were some real little niggas. He said, man, we despise this. Like, man, I deserve this. You feel me? And from him, I hope to receive them again. I hope I get these laws again so I can do it right this time. Go ahead.
Verse 12, and so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
Man, they was marveled. They was astonished at his courage because he was about to die. But he was like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, nigga. We sinned against God. This is what we get. That's what he said. Because you know how they knew? Because they knew the Bible. So they knew Christ was coming to save them.
For that he nothing regarded the pain.
Mm-hmm. But he nothing regarded the pain. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to 2 Maccabees 7 and 14.
The book of 2 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men.
He said it was what?
It is good being put to death by men.
It's good to be being put to death by men. You know why? Go ahead.
For to look for hope from God to be raised up again by him.
To be reincarnation. That's another thing that's a part of our culture. They knew they was going to come back. They knew they was coming back. He said to look for hope from God to be raised up again by him. It's, yeah, put me to death. Kill me. Because I'm not finna sin. Because I don't want to sin. See, that's why we in this situation right now. That's why you in a position to kill me right now, because we sinned. So now you telling me to not sin, to sin, so I can get away and live my life scot-free? Nah, nigga. I'm ready to die, so I can be raised up again. Go ahead.
As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
But you ain't having no resurrection to life. This is what he's telling the Greeks. The Greeks about to kill him. Didn't kill 3 of his brothers. He's telling the Greeks, like, but you ain't got no resurrection to life. You know why he's saying that? Because of Obadiah. Because these niggas knew the Bible. They knew scripture. They knew their culture, their history. And they knew that Esau was not going to be remaining anymore. At one point in time, Esau is going to go extinct. That's what Obadiah said. And they knew Obadiah said that. So yeah, you can drop that. Let's go to 16 and 17.
Verse 16. Then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible.
Mm-hmm.
Thou doest what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of God.
Right. Think not that our nation is turned away from God. You feel me? Think not. Thou hast power over men. Yeah, you do. With your wealth, your armies, you do. Do as you will. Do what you want. Do what you got to do. You hear me? Do what you want with this information. You hear me? Ain't that what they say? Yeah, do what you want with this information. Do what you got to do with it. But ye think not that our nation is forsaken of God. Think not that we turn away of God. You go with it.
Verse 17. But about a while, and behold his great power.
Right, just hold on right quick. Just chill for a minute and behold his great power. Behold.
How he will torment thee in thy seed.
How he will torment thee in thy seed. He talking to the Greeks. You feel me? Because he know about Esau's future. You feel me? He know about 9/11, about all the terrorist attacks, how he got to live by the sword. He will torment thee and thy seed. It's going to happen. So yeah, do what you got to do. Do what you will. So yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to 18 through 20. That was the 5th son said that. These little niggas was gangsters. Because you got to remember, they seen all the other brothers died while they're saying this. It's not like they in different rooms. They know about their other brother that got killed. The other brother and the other brother. And they still just super solid.
Verse 18. After him also they brought the 6th, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause. For we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God.
We sinned against our God. We did something to deserve this. So we're going to take it like men. We're going to take this death like men. So like you go with it.
Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. Verse 19. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished.
Man, don't look, man. Don't think you finna escape unpunished, man. You feel me? Don't think you're gonna escape unpunished. The Greek Empire is gone. The Greece is a tourist attraction. It's a goddamn tourist attraction. Go to Greece, yeah, to take pictures of this building, that building. It's a goddamn tourist attraction. Rome is a tourist attraction. Egypt is a tourist attraction. America will be a tourist attraction soon enough. You go ahead.
Come, verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all.
But the who?
But the mother was
the mother. Now, this the mother that watched all her sons die. She was marvelous above all her sons. Because, I mean, come on, man. These are her children.
And worthy of honorable memory.
And that's why we remember her right now. She watched all her sons die.
For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day.
One day she saw all her sons get killed. One day.
She bare it with good courage because the hope that she had in the Lord.
Because the hope she had in the Lord. She watched all her sons die because of the hope she had in the Lord. She knew the Lord was going to redeem her sons, bring them back in earth, and the people that killed them was going to pay for it. Real talk. They're going to pay for it. So, yeah, let's drop that and let's go to 24 through 26.
Verse 24. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assure him with oaths.
Right, so he knew that she had one more son. This was his last try. He tried all the other ones, it didn't work. He got one more to try.
And he would make him both a rich and happy man.
So I'm gonna make you rich and happy. You're gonna be a rich, happy man. And you know what the only thing, you know what he wanted them to do? He wanted them to eat pork. That's what he wanted them to do, to eat pork. That's the funny thing. You would think he wanted them to do some type of sadistic act that you just can't believe, which of course it might have led to that, but he just really just wanted to eat pork. That's it. Eat pork.
Like, if I may, is this? I don't know if I'm reaching, but it sounds like the same thing Satan was trying to say to Christ when he was tempting him. I'll make you rich and powerful.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, make you rich and powerful, all that. Hell yeah. They wanted us to sin against our God.
If he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take for him his friend and trust him with the fear.
Go ahead. We're going all the way to 26.
Verse 25. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him.
Right, he wasn't trying to have none of that. Little bro wasn't hearing none of that. He wanted to serve his God, what he always knew.
The king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
Right, so the king told the young man, told the mother, look, tell him that I will save his life if he just eat this pork. You feel me? If he eat this pork, he comes sin against God. I'll save his life. This is what the king told the mother to tell the son, counsel him.
Verse 26. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son.
Right. So yeah, she yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I'll let him know. I'll let him know to get up there, eat that pork, eat that swine. So you can drop it. Let's go to 28 through 32.
Verse 28, I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth.
So now this is what she counseled him and said.
And all that is therein, and consider that God made them of things that were not. And so was mankind made likewise.
So God made things that were not. He made things out of nothing. All the stuff you see, the mountains, the water, God made that stuff out of nothing. And so was mankind made likewise out of nothing. Mankind was made out of nothing.
Verse 29, fear not this tormentor.
Don't fear him. How you fear him? The God we serve made men out of nothing. Made mountains out of nothing. Water out of nothing. Why would you fear him? Go ahead.
But being worthy of thy brethren, take that death.
She told his ass to die. You women out there, you think you soldiers, you think you love the Lord. This woman told her son to die. The king said, if you listen to me, I'm gonna make you rich and famous. The mother told his ass to die. That was the mother said. And I see why Martin Luther took this out of the Bible now. Now it makes sense.
That I may receive thee again and mercy with thy brethren.
Reincarnation. They knew reincarnation was real. That's the only way these 7 sons can die like that. And the mother let them die until her youngest son to die. Because she knew she gonna see him again one day. She knew one day she was gonna see him again.
Verse 30. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for?
Right, whom you wait ye for?
I will not obey the king's commandment.
Right, so the king thinking that she dropping all this game, he probably jumping up and down, he probably tearing up, all type of stuff. Thinking, and the king thinking like, yeah, she got to him. And then the whole time he said, I will not obey the king's commandment. He said, I'm not listening. I'm not doing that. And he was a young man. Go ahead.
But I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses.
Bro, I'm going to obey the law of Moses. I'm going to do what our father said to do, that Moses told them what to do when we came out of Egypt. I think I'm going to listen to that. I don't think I'm going to listen to Martin Luther. I'm going to listen to that. You go ahead.
Verse 31. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews.
Author of all mischief. The so-called white man in America is the author of all mischief against the Hebrews right now, which is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Shall not escape the hands of God.
Yeah, you ain't escaping. So-called white man, you're not escaping the hands of God. It's not going to happen. I know you wanted to. Martin Luther wanted it to. He took everything out the Bible. It's not happening.
Verse 32, for we suffer because of our sins.
We suffer because of our sins. That's why we suffer. Christians, that's why we suffer. We suffer because of our sins. Matter of fact, the Protestant church, what they say, what they believe is no good deed is how you get saved. That's what Martin Luther said. No good deed is how you get saved. It's because you believe in Christ. That's his exact words of their Protestant belief. Real talk. So yeah, let's drop that and let's go to 2 Maccabees 7 and 39.
Come. Book of 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 39. Then the king, being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest.
Right. So the little young son, the youngest brother, out of all the 7 sons that died, he handed him the worst death of all the rest. You go ahead.
And took it grievously that he was mocked.
Because he got mocked. The little boy mocked him. The mother mocked him. He thought the mother was going to convince the younger son to do what he wanted him to do because he was so young. Well, nah, that's not true. Because we know that reincarnation is real and we'll be back to do it again.
Verse 40. So this man died undefiled.
Undefiled. He never even sinned, never did any fornication. He died undefiled.
And put his whole trust in the Lord. Verse 41. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died.
And then the mother died after that. That's crazy. Right after that, then the mother died.
Verse 42, let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures.
Right. And that's so heavy because they didn't want to celebrate their holidays. They didn't want to eat the food that they told them to eat. They just want to serve God. This is what happens when you serve God. When you serve God, you get put to death, whether it's spiritual or physical. That's what happened. So yeah, let's drop that. What we at with it? Let's go to John 10 and 22.
Come.
Right. And if I may, that's the reason why the Maccabees went to war to fight, to get the temple back, to fight off the Greeks. But they was a heinous, corrupt nation of people. And we got it back.
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication.
The who?
The Feast of Dedication.
They celebrating in the New Testament.
And it was winter.
And it was winter. It was in the wintertime. The Feast of Dedication is in the wintertime. And we did that because it's our culture.
Verse 23. And your house shall walk in the temple in Solomon's porch.
And that's why Christ celebrated the Feast of Dedication. You hear me? Why the Christians don't do it? Christ did it. He walked in Solomon's porch, the temple that we fought to get back from the Greeks. But the Christians don't do it because they don't believe in the Bible. Martin Luther, he don't really believe in the Bible. He was just trying to use it to manipulate you. He didn't want to take this part out, though. He wanted to take out all the other stuff about Jewish this and Judaism, and it's about Jewish people. But he left in John 10 and 23, which is clearly say Christ celebrated the Feast of Dedication, which is insane. Like, come on now. Damn. The Bible wasn't tampered with. These people took out what they wanted and left in what they wanted to make you a good slave. But the Bible is real. God is real. Black people is real. You hear me? It is what it is. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, last scripture. Let's go to Revelations 1 and 12. No, it's like 11 and 12.
Book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them.
No, so like I was right. It was 1 and 12. My bad. It's a lot.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
Right, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. So now this John the Revelator having visions. He in the jail island of Patmos, a Greek island. And he's seen in the Revelation 7 golden candlesticks. That's what he see. He's like, damn, the hell is that right there? That's 7. He wake up in jail, he sees 7 golden candlesticks just sitting there.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
One like unto the Son of Man. He see Christ. Son of Man means son of Adam, because you follow Adam. You hear me? Son of Man.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Yeah, a garment down to the foot, like we wear in the ISUPK.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Right, and he had a golden girdle around him. You feel me? Because that is for protection. You hear me? Think about it. Right back in those times, they got knives and swords. Ain't nobody stab you. They're like in prison when you wear the phone booth. I mean, you take the phone book and you put it around you, so can't nobody shank you. Christ had on a girdle about perhaps with a golden girdle because he was a soldier. He was a soldier. Man, he was a warrior. Man, they wanted to kill him. Real talk.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and his hairs was white like wool. Why would his hair be like wool if he's a white boy? White boys' hair come down like dog hair. Only people got woolly hairs, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which signifies that it's curly. You good?
Slice, I just had a question real quick. I never seen this before. It says his hair was white. Why wouldn't they say his skin was white?
I don't know. If Martin Luther was supposed to manipulate the Bible to change, you feel me? And that's what's so heavy about the article we read. Is say they didn't add to it. It just took stuff out. That's what the article said. It didn't say they added stuff like, yeah, look, his skin is white and his hair is blonde and blue eyes. That's not what the Bible say. They just took stuff out. They took stuff out they didn't want in there because it was promoting Judaism. You feel me? For people that think the Bible was tampered with, it was tampered with on the basis because they didn't want to promote Judaism. But you thinking white people is Jewish, that's your problem. You didn't understand that Judaism, I mean, yeah, that's a religion, but black people is the Jews. You feel me? And the Bible is promoting black people. Real talk.
As white as snow, and his eyes were a flame of fire.
Wasn't blue. He wasn't no blue-eyed devil. His eyes was like a flame of fire because he drunk wine. It was red from drinking wine. Real talk.
Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass.
Like unto fine brass. Christ was not no white, but it's John the Revelator. He woke up out of jail. He seen a candlestick. And in the midst of the candlestick, he seen a man. He seen a black man. Well, yeah, but this is insane. This is insane, man. Martin Luther, you should have took this out. That's what you should have done. You damn goofy.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Oh, he was extra black. He wasn't just, he was country black. So like 3-6 Mafia. He was country black. Salaki. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Hell no.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Right, and his voice was like real austere. You feel me? He didn't have a soft Michael Jackson ass voice. He had a voice where people hear and they like, oh shit, who was that?
Verse 16, and he had in his right hand 7 stars.
Right, and them 7 stars represented the 7 angels that was over the 7 churches that Paul built. Because it's an angel over every church, over every school. That's all that really is. That's why we don't use that term church, because the Christian church has polluted that name. So we just say what it actually is, which is a school. It's an angel over every school, and Christ was holding them angels in his hand.
And out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword.
Cut deep. The words he was spitting to John the Revelator, it was cutting deep. Because that's what a 2-edged sword do. It cuts really deep.
And his countenance was as the sun shining in his strength.
And he was bright. He was bright. He was so bright. He sounded like it shine like the sun. I call you son because you shine like one. It's a lie. I call you son because you shine like one. It's a black man's book right here. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. It's a lie.
Verse 17. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last.
I am the first and the last. That's what Christ said. Christ said, fear not, I am the first and I am the last. You feel me? Christ was Adam, and he also is Christ. You feel me? First and last, the Son of God. You feel me? But yeah, that's the end of tonight's class, man. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You feel me? Tune in Wednesday night for the podcast. You feel me? I was about Shimmy, I was Shabbat, I was